So we are joined on the line by David Zounmenou. He's a senior research fellow at the Institute for Security Studies. Doctor, a very good afternoon to you. Thank you so much for joining us on News Today.
Good afternoon, Alicia. Good afternoon to all the listeners.
Look, Doctor, this warrant of arrest now, does it finally confirm what people had suspected all along, that Blaise Compaore was involved in the killing of his friend, Captain Thomas Sankara?
Look, I think that was expected long ago. For the past 20 years, Burkina Faso and Africa at large were expecting that something will be done to really uncover the truth surrounding the assassination of Thomas Sankara by his best friend. Of course, the justice has managed to charge few individuals, including the last failed coup attempt leader, Gilbert Diendéré. And you cannot really charge Gilbert Diendéré without asking yourself a question about who was the major beneficiary of the coup and who was actually the commander-in-chief of the army at that time. And I think the arrest warrant came at the very right time when the transition government is wrapping up. And we hope that will really go further to really bring Compaore or seek the truth from his side.
But, Doctor, what's interesting and, also confusing is the fact that already General Gilbert Diendéré, as you've mentioned, is in custody over that 1987 murder. So what happens to him now?
I think what happened to him is we're still going to stand the trials. And among the people who are involved, I think Compaore also had to take his stand in tribunal. But because of the political dimension of the issue and the fact that he's in exile, I think that problem was really serious to be confronted. And even now, nobody knows exactly what the Ivorian government is going to do with regard to that arrest warrant. Are they going to put pressure on the upcoming government led by President Compaore, who was also a close collaborator of Compaore? Will he dare to try Compaore in Burkina Faso? What will be the reaction of other African leaders? These are some of the dimensions of a problem which I think might make the process even more complex. But all the same, will be a very strong indication that Burkina Faso leaders or new leaders taking the clue from the street are no longer prepared to cover impunity or to allow impunity to prevail if they want to give a chance for democratic consolidation in their country.
Look, Doctor, expand on that. Look, these arrests are being carried out under the watch of the interim government. Will they now stand when the president-elect President Compaore assumes power?
That's a key question, actually, and I alluded to it earlier, because President Compaore has also worked with Burkina Faso, even though he's not associated with the coup. He simply condoned it, accepted to work with Compaore, has been his brain for the past 30 years. I think that might really stand on the way of justice. But from what I saw last year when the citizens took on the street to prevent Compaore from amending the constitution, life will never be the same again in Burkina Faso, and the people are determined to make sure that justice prevails, and those who assassinated Compaore have responded before the court and take responsibility if they are sentenced, serve their sentence in jail. But that will send a very strong message to people that justice has returned to Burkina Faso. And finally, the names of those who killed Compaore, who killed Sankara, are known to the whole Africa.
Look, Doctor, enlighten us, please. Is this not retribution politics led by interim Prime Minister Lieutenant Colonel Zida against his former bosses, don't you think?
I don't think so. Because the call has been made for many years for justice to prevail. Even investigation by the African Court of Justice to Burkina Faso, or decision by the African Court of Justice calling upon the government to open the process, to call to book those who have been involved in the killing and the assassination of Thomas Sankara, has never been headed, for example, because the power was very much under the control of Compaore. And even the justice in Burkina Faso, on many occasions, has declared that they were incompetent to deal with the matter, simply because of a political and sensitive dimension to it. Now the opportunity is there. Either Burkina Faso chose to promote democracy by giving a chance for justice to prevail, or they continue the camouflage which will hide the truth from people, while everybody knows in the popular imagination in Burkina Faso, they know who were the assassins of Thomas Sankara and why they should be punished.
Doctor, before I let you go very quickly, then what is the role of France in all of this?
Excuse me, I didn't get the question.
What is the role of France in all this debacle, Doctor?
I think initially, I think there were rumors and allegations that actually the coup in 1987 did not happen in a vacuum. It brought together external actors, regional actors, and also internal actors in Burkina Faso at those three levels. And there are people who even argue that the former president, President Thomas Sankara, acting on behalf of France, was one of the key actors in the killing of Thomas Sankara, because the guy was becoming a very bad consciousness for the corrupt leaders and those who were subservient to French imperialism in Africa. But currently, I do not believe that France has anything to do with what is going on, because Sankara's wife has been living in France, putting pressure on French authorities to seek justice or to restore justice in Burkina Faso without any success. I think what is happening is a new change, a political change that is taking place in Burkina Faso, where citizens now play a very important role and realize that they have a power to hold their leaders accountable for any crime that has been committed, be it war crimes or blood crimes or any other crime that has been committed during their rule. And I think that's a very important development in the democratization process of Burkina Faso.
Doctor, we thank you so much for your insight here on News Today. That was Dr. David Zounmenou. He's a senior research fellow at the Institute for Security Studies.